Hello,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this evening, I'm joined by Ciru Mwaniki from Advertique Limited, who are based in Nairobi, Kenya. And how are you doing this evening, Ciru? You okay? How are you
I'm
doing this
sorry,
evening?
I'm very fine, thank you. So the network is a little bit shaky. So if you find that I'm a bit quiet, just know it freezes a little bit, but I'm here with you until we say goodbye.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. This is a very pleasant evening, very cold in Nairobi, but
What
we
time
are
is it?
happy. I mean,
What time is it?
right, it's
What time?
11 p.m.
Okay, so,
11 o'clock p.m. in the evening.
okay, so it's quite late then, yeah? So bedtime after this.
Yeah, oh, from here, oh, snoozing.
Yes, fair enough. So I usually like to ask people first before I get to know about their business. I like to ask them how the lockdown has been for them in general, and if they've done anything
Mhm.
different in their business during that time. Are you?
Okay. Oh wow. I definitely have something to tell you about that because during the lockdown, there is a period that it was total shutdown here in Kenya, and what you had to do, or at least what I did, is that I had to think of. I need to now connect with new people. I need to try and find new networks, and so what I did is I went online because I love to do research, and I joined uh, any WhatsApp group that I could find. I did not care who it is, where it's from, who is in there, what they're doing. All I wanted was to connect with new people, and I ended up joining 285 WhatsApp groups. Can you believe that?
Yes, I can believe it because I've joined about 50, 60, I think, and I'm already a member of about 100 and something Facebook groups. So yeah, I can believe it.
Yes, so I mean, it was just amazing because all I did was I did not want to introduce myself into the groups as with a message. So what I did is I went ahead and contacted everybody in that group, and I did about 10 groups, and that's where I met Mark Jarrett. So he was very intrigued that this person from Nairobi is writing to him, and he doesn't know me, but we had a conversation, and here we are.
Yes, yes.
That
So
is what I did different.
well, the 50 odd WhatsApp groups that I've joined are ones that I've been given to, or that were of interest to me out of the 130 odd groups that Mark has. And I'm interested in most things, so I was interested in about 50 of them or more, probably, because I'm a power networker
Yes.
similar to Mark. So, we're both connectors of people. So we've
Oh,
connected,
fantastic.
yeah, we've connected
Fantastic.
during this time, and obviously that's led to us introducing each other to lots of other
Yes.
connections. So the ripples are far and wide, especially globally for me, which Mark's got a lot more global contacts than I have, and I've got a lot more, say, Wales and Irish contacts than he has. So we both got different networks, which we've started knitting together, and obviously
Yes.
one of that bit of knitting, if you like, has led to us having a chat on the podcast. So yeah, so you've changed a lot. Then you've just been proactive, thinking, right, I need to connect with more people and new people online during this
Yes.
time, and that's led you to
Yes.
where you are now, if you like, and what you've been doing the last few weeks. Um, Tell us a little bit about your business sort of before that, what led up to what you're doing now, what you've been doing, say, before lockdown, and what you're looking to do, in the new world, if you like.
Okay. So before the lockdown, my business is basically a business where I try to help businesses improve their processes by developing for them what I call a revenue management system. So I'll give you an example. For instance, I can go into a law firm and tell them, this is how your workflow process should look like from the time you acquire the customer from the time you start doing the work, how you allocate work, how long the work should take, and then how you bill and how you close a file. So basically, we're just talking about just a general workflow process. And I find that some of the law firms I've been in touch with and the ones I've done work for don't have that. So I developed that, and then I can also recommend a software to go along with that. And for a client who doesn't want to buy a software or invest in a software, I do go ahead and develop. I love the computer, so I want to try and do anything. So I can develop a database using Microsoft Access, which I can design specifically for that client, depending on how many files they have, and teach them, train them how to use it, and then I just let them run with it. So that is basically how my business has been. So I try to go into a business and try and help them improve their processes if they don't have one. I also do event management and recruitment. So I've had some clients who come to me and they tell me, we would like to headhunt a particular person. Would you be able to help us with that? So I go out and I get on the computer and I look for people who I think would suit this particular company, do introductions. So I've done some very high quality recruitment in some companies. So that was basically just the process. What I like to do is I can almost do anything for a client as long as it fits in my line in terms of developing revenue management systems, anything in administration, recruitment. So I'm very happy to do that. And now with the lockdown, we had now to sit and say, okay, you need to do something a little bit different in your business. Try to make it different. And for me, what has happened now is that the networks that I've made through Max groups, I've met very good people in there like yourself, and I've already gotten 2 products from these groups that I'm already managing and working towards just to promote the products, because what I loved about them is that they are in line with what I do, but now with technology, because I love technology. I believe technology, you can use technology for everything and anything. Otherwise, if it's not for technology, I would not be having this conversation with you right now.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be able to add some new products and solutions to you as well, because basically you're a systems and process solutions provider for businesses, yeah? And I'm a
Yes.
And I'm a systems and process sort of strategist and provider for businesses in the area of sales and marketing. So, it's about,
wow.
Yeah. So similar sort of thing. I do a similar thing to you. I look at, what they're doing at the moment to try and find a system and process that they could do, which would make it more efficient and get better results. But in the area of, social media marketing and SEO, content writing, content marketing, all that sort of thing, really. So yeah, it looks like we might be able to, work together on that. So once you've helped them improve their process flow, if you like, or their customer sort of journey flow, or whatever it is that you're helping them with, at the same time,
exactly.
we could help them with their marketing. So I've got strategies, for example, which combine content marketing, SEO, social media marketing, podcasting and YouTubing all at the same time, so that instead of do them all separately, we do them all in a process, and it takes a third of the time.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I like that, because one of the other things that I do, even as now with the change of the business environment, is that I had I have a business partner who we were doing some business with in the area of music. And it was very exciting just to learn a new business, because I've never done music, to know how is music recorded, how is music distributed, how do you assist a customer when they come and tell you, okay, I have this song, what do I need to do? So one of the things that I have done is that now with the music experience is I've actually gotten some people who have come directly to me and tell me, okay, Ciru, I met you here, this is what you are doing. I have music, I don't know what to do with it. And I found that a lot of people, a lot of artists, especially in our market, because they either don't have the information, or they feel they don't have the resources to do it, they don't know what to do with their music. So they get a song, they record the song, and then they just go and load it on YouTube, and that's it. They don't know what to do from there. So what I've done is that now I've learned how to do the music distribution. So I go and I tell them, this is what you need so that we can help distribute your music online. This is what I've actually even had to learn how to use YouTube properly to get the audience. What time do you launch this song? How do you do the keywords? What do you do in your video description, thumbnail? So I've had to learn that, and now I think I have maybe 3 or 4, if I remember correctly, persons who want me to help them with their music. So that is still a very exciting journey for me, because it's also a process. They have a product, they need a process to have the product reach their customers. So same thing. Yeah, so this is very, very exciting.
So I'm obviously, so I'll tell you my podcast journey, okay? So my podcast,
Okay.
I started doing podcasting because I wrote a book, and I'm on a mission to become a global speaker, which is why I get people on
Wow.
all around the world. Yeah, I want to be one of the top speakers on the planet, like, you know.
Right.
So,
Fantastic.
so yeah, so I wrote a book because to become a top speaker, you either have got to have, you've got to have written a book, or you've got to have done some other big achievement, yeah. And I thought, well, writing a book's one of the best, ways I could do that, yeah. So I want to write a best-selling book. I've written a book, whether it's best-selling or not, who knows? I'm going to market the hell out of it and try and make it best-selling. So we'll see. And then
Oh, I believe you'll make it. I mean, I've read your profile, and I'm wondering, when does he have time to do all this?
I work from the moment I wake up to the moment I fall asleep every evening. So I work every hour under the sun, but I love what I do. So it's not work or play with me. It's just life, And
Okay.
yeah, and then so I started my podcast to promote the book. Yeah, and then I'm into efficiency and processes. So what I realized is, at the same time as podcasting every day, giving myself originally once a week podcast target, then once a day podcast target, then a 3 times a day podcast target. Then I thought, actually,
Wow.
I want to do at least one YouTube a day as well. And then I thought, well, actually, if I do my podcast on Zoom, I can take the audio for the podcast, the video for the YouTube, yeah. And so I'm saving time. But then I realized doing my own singular episodes, which I do a lot of, I realized that I do a lot of business networking online, but I didn't have enough hours in the day to contact all the people I network with and follow up with them.
Right.
So then I thought, well,
Yes.
actually, if I extend to my own individual episodes, dual conversations, and actually follow up with people from networking whilst doing the recording of the podcast and the YouTube, then what I'm basically doing is 3 45-minute tasks at one 45-minute window. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm saving an hour and a half every 45 minutes, if you like. Yeah. But then when you upload your audio to your podcast, you can then, from the podcast app that I use, you can share it to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, of which I got three main accounts. Facebook, I've got lots of different pages. So I share it to my account, to my news, to my pages, to my groups. I share it to Twitter, Facebook, my WordPress blog, and that's about it.
Right.
And then my Hootsuite and my buffer, which will load it up and share it again later. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll upload the video and stick it into YouTube, and then I share it to Blogger, because Google owns Blogger and YouTube. So
Yeah.
I was sharing it to one blogger, but I've set up 2 more now. So I share it to 3 different bloggers. And I share it to Tumblr, Twitter, LinkedIn, a different account on LinkedIn, yeah, a different Twitter account, and that's about it, I think. Yeah. So literally one 45-minute job and about 15 minutes worth of marketing can give me the amount of output that I would say would take the average digital marketing practitioner, 15 to 30-year-old, to probably
Mm-hmm.
4 hours to do.
I see that for
Yeah.
sure. I see that.
So,
Yes,
so, so
yes.
what they do in the amount of work they can get done in 4 hours, I'm getting done in an hour. Yeah, or it might take them three or 4 hours. So I'm basically I'm getting like a lot more work done in much less time. And then obviously, because I got a massive network, I'm just jumping so I'm doing my 45-minute podcast, my 50-minute marketing, and then jumping to another one. And so literally,
Wow.
some days I'm doing 3, 4, 5. I think today I might have done 5, 6. I can't even remember, because what happens is there ends up being a bit of a backlog. So I do the 15
Yes.
minutes marketing, but sometimes the podcast doesn't end in 45 minutes. It might end in 55. So I've only got 5 minutes. So I can't do the 15 minutes of marketing. So it ends up backlogging. And
Right.
then when my podcasts stop in the evening, I then go back through and
Mm-hmm.
market all the other ones. Yeah. So
Right.
it's all a
Yes.
system and a process, but it's a way of being able to get a lot more activity done because it's all streamlined. Yeah,
Right.
than the average person would do, and that's how I work.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, for sure. I see that. I mean, what you do. I mean, when I read your profile, I was like, okay, this gentleman, I have to meet him. And I think what happened today was that there was something we were doing earlier on, and it took so long. I felt, and at around midday, I was like, okay, I think will I is the timing good? I was like, okay, fine. I think it looks okay. But then when it got to around, I think 1 o'clock, I started panicking, and I was like, oh, I don't think 5 o'clock is gonna work very well for me. And this is something you want to do when you're not in a hurry, when you're relaxed. So now I'm at home and it's quiet, and now just being on the podcast is very it's working. So I think thank you so much. I mean, I can't tell you thank you enough for inviting me to your podcast and talking about myself and talking about my business. So I mean, I see you're a marketer to death. So
yes.
I
Well,
mean, yeah. So marketing for me also, it's a new thing, but I believe that you can always learn how to do something else that you've never done before, and all you need to do. I mean, the information age, the information is there. It's just how you want to use it. So
you
for
have
me, that
you have all the skills
exactly,
because you like systems and processes, yeah, and you like technology. So
exactly,
the rest of it doesn't, the rest of it is content, words, language, that sort of stuff, yeah. But you can learn all of that.
exactly. Yeah.
That's not complicated, you know.
It
Things like
yeah,
you got to learn things like power words, like
exactly.
um, try this today before it ends, or things like that, or urgency creations, or call to actions, and that's some
Mm-hmm.
stuff that you can learn. But the systems, the processes, the being okay and familiar and comfortable with technology are some of the key
Yes,
skills to marketing. So, and obviously
of course.
marketing marketing and sales are two core skills which any business, any entrepreneur, any person needs in order to become successful in life.
Of course, of course. I mean, it's very very clear on what you can do to achieve success in any business by using technology and knowing how to use it very well. I mean, we find that here, for instance, also we find a lot of people, they'll be like, sorry, let me just take you back a little bit, because one of the other things that I do and I'm very passionate about right now is in this part of the world, excuse me, we have a lot of people who want to go to the first world. They want to travel to Europe, they want to go to America, they want to go to Canada. People just want to be out there and just to experience and see what else they can find out there. And one of the things that I'm leveraging on is that people, yes, they want to go abroad, but they don't know how to do it, and to do it properly and in a legal manner, so that when you travel to a new country, when you're a visitor, you go and overstay your visa, now that becomes a problem, because now you're hiding from authorities, you can't find work. And now I have an arm in my business where I'm helping people from everywhere. If you can come, and I'll put you somewhere, look for you a job in Europe, and then you can relocate legally. You get a legal visa, you get a permanent residency permit. And I've partnered with a company in the UK, I mean in Germany, sorry. This gentleman has developed very good relationships with some countries in Europe, like Czech Republic, Poland, Lithuania. I've actually, last year, I got successfully relocated 2 Kenyans to Lithuania as commercial truck drivers, and they are legal. They got their temporary visa 6 months when they left, and now they are permanent residents. So they are, in fact, they just keep telling, now they've become very, you can't find them because they are busy, they are working. So, yeah. I mean, that's a very good arm of the business, where you're just telling people, come. It's a long process, and some people get doubtful. They're like, oh, that 6 months is very long. But the ones who see the opportunity, they are taking it. And now I can see at least, okay, the lockdown put things a little bit slow at that point, because of course nobody is going to travel. But now people are now anxious. They're like, okay, now I think we need to just get this done. And last week, I actually talked to somebody who was referred to me through these networks from all the way from Sierra Leone. So I'm amazed, because I can see the networking is working, because yes. You just need to get yourself out there, interact with people. I'm also very active in the groups, because what I do is most days I'm up by 4:30 if I'm late. If I'm on good time, 3:30, 4 o'clock, I must be up, so that I sit down and just network. And I've even said now what I need to do. One of the things is, as I build a business, is I also would like to teach people how to network, because I've seen how powerful and how good it can be just to talk to different people. You don't have to really know that person, but get interested. Who is this person? What are they doing? And then talk to them face to face. I've had so many calls. Every day I am talking to someone on Zoom, like the way I'm talking to you right now. Yeah. So it's just amazing, and it's exciting. And the opportunities I can see, and the possibilities, they seem to be just there. Yeah.
Well, I'm an award-winning networker. I won Networker of the Year in the network that I belong to, which was out of 100 members, and it was the first time they ever did the award after 10 years of operating. So they've been going for 10 years, decided to give the award out, and I won the award. And so I've actually got networking tips on both my website and my podcast and my YouTube channel. So I'm currently doing a series called The A to Z of Networking. But I'm also doing the A to Z of marketing, the A to Z of sales, and the A to Z of entrepreneurship. And I'm giving lots of tips and advice about all of those areas. So networking, sales, and marketing. I'm on a mission to become a global speaker. So I want people to market my information to young entrepreneurs in any country, so that I eventually become a speaker in that country, because people will want to get you over to...
of course, definitely.
So that's what I want to do. I want to travel the world, and I want to help people by educating them. I've been in sales and entrepreneurship for 30 years, and I'm only 42. I'm 43 soon. Yeah. I started at 11, and I was in full-time employment sales at 15. So I was a wheeler and dealer as a kid, but at 15 I was in sales, and at 18 I was managing people, and I've been managing people all my life since. At 23, I took on a telesales job, so selling over the phone in a fintech, financial tech startup. I got promoted 9 times in 6 years. And when I started, the company was turning over nothing and had no staff. And when I left, they were turning over 25 million and had 250 staff. When I was one of the top 2 sellers in that company for 10 years. But then
Okay.
in 2 years' time, I went into management and I got promoted 9 times in 6 years in management. And I took over a telesales team of 7 people doing 300 grand. And I took them to a department of 17 people doing 5.7 million. So,
Yeah.
so out of the 25 million turnover the company was doing, the key accounts department, which was mine, was
Yes.
doing 5.7 million off 17 people. And then the rest of the business was doing 20 million off 230 odd people.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, your journey is just amazing to listen to and just to know what you want to achieve. I mean, in this world, the best thing that you can do, I think, even as you build your business, you build your empire, is to share information. Help people with your journey. Tell them this is what you need to do. This is what I was doing. This is how I improved it. And when you share information with people, I think it's the best gift you can give people, because learning, if you have so much information and you're just keeping it to yourself, what is it for?
Selfish, isn't it?
Share it with
Selfish.
others.
So
Yeah.
I've done over 360 podcast episodes since April. Yeah, which is
Okay.
a lot. I've gone up from 3 a day now to my target is 10 a day. So I'm trying to do
Okay.
10 a day. I do about three to six dual chats like this, and then I got to do
Yes.
3 or 4 of my own ones then. So days where it only drops
Mm-hmm.
down to 3 chats, I got to do 7 single episodes. And when I get 7 chats, I've only got to do 3 single episodes. So but my target is 10. I'm probably operating around 8 per day at the moment because I'm also doing 8 networking events a week. I'm also networking a lot with Mark on WhatsApp and power groups and stuff. Plus, I'm also doing a
Yes.
75-day challenge where I've got to every day do 2 45-minute exercises, drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages from an educational book, and be on a diet. So I got other things going on as well. So I've got like big targets and big goals, and it's
Oh,
just that
wow.
time is trying to juggle everything in time, which is why I do podcasts at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night because I'm still working. I'm still getting these targets done.
Oh, that is just fantastic. It's also making me now think, okay, I think podcasting is not, I think it seems to be a good idea, because I had a conversation, I think the day before yesterday, with Anne-Marie Cross from Australia. And I mean, she does podcasting, that's her thing. And I've followed her. I always watch her podcast just to get a feel of what is podcasting, because I didn't know. Most people, yes, they do load videos on YouTube, but podcasting is not that popular. But I thought that this is an interesting arm. And now when you say that you'd also like me to come on your podcast, I was like, oh, I am so in. I just want to get there and let's talk and discuss, and I'm and learning. So for me, networking has now become a passion. I don't think even the people that I used to interact with before, I interacted with them on that level so frequent. And right now, it's just amazing. I love it. I enjoy it. I'm like, I am so gonna network, because I told Mark when we spoke with him the first time that my mission was to reach 100,000 people. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to achieve it, but I've told him what I needed to do now, because the groups were so many. I had to exit all the groups and now try to contact the people individually still, because I still feel these people, I still need to figure out how I'm gonna get them, because now his groups are very well forecast, because every group has a theme. The people there, they are talking about a particular item: education, gold, anything, avocado. Can you believe we have a group for avocados? Just talking about avocados. I mean, it's just amazing. So these networks, for sure, they have made me see business in a different light, that you can be able to change even the way you operate your business, that now you can simply just get at home, use your computer, and just help where you can. Because for me, that is my passion. That is what I like to do, helping somebody else figure out how they can improve their business. I can tell you one of the businesses that I got from the groups that is very exciting, and I believe you, because I saw on your website, is the Things to Do In
Yes.
by Paul Nash. Yeah, so for me, when I heard about that business the first time that Mark hosted a Dragon's Den, that's where I had it the first time, and I was like, oh wow, that sounds like a very interesting business idea, and I wanted to learn more about it. So we've already connected with Paul. He has told me how the business works. We've gone through the website, and one of the other things, in fact, that attracted me to that business was that it's a very well suited for small scale businesses, and they do not have to have a website to advertise their product or service on this platform.
Yes,
so I mean,
it's a
a
big
business.
growth area. In Africa, it will be a huge growth area, because
Oh yes.
there'll be a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs and wheeler and dealers and whatever that don't have websites, but
Of
this will
course.
become their website. This is how people,
Mhm.
and now everyone is locked in and using their phones and using the internet to find people, and it opens up
Yes.
the world to their business. They haven't got to pay for a website. I build websites, by the way. So if they want
Mhm.
a good value for money website, I only charge, well, I say only, in the UK is quite cheap. I charge £300 or £500, which it would normally cost, say,
Exactly.
£1,000 in the UK. Yeah.
Okay.
So I charge a SME price, a small to medium-sized enterprise price, or a startup price,
Okay.
because I like helping people. So I could charge £1,000 for it, but I like helping people, so I do it cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Africa, that might
Definitely.
be a dear price. I don't know, because obviously it depends on exchange rate and currencies and which country. And, in
Of course.
Zimbabwe, it'd probably be somebody's life earnings, you know. So every economy is different, So yeah, but I could build websites as well. But that's what I really like about Paws is, you don't have to pay for a website. You could just be a small business, pay for your marketing,
Exactly.
and you have the
Mhm.
website, if you like, as a landing page. You have that website for free, just for the paying of the marketing.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I found that. So, I mean, his business concept is so simple, but so useful, because if I don't believe there's anybody you can go to and tell them, I guarantee you that you're going to be on page 1 of Google with organic traffic. It's
Yeah.
just not possible. I mean, and anybody who won't then say, oh yeah, I think that is such a very good idea. So for me, we agreed with him that just look for the companies, and I already have the 10 companies with me. I have there's a lady from South Africa, but her name is Alvira Fisher. She's interested in the business. There's somebody from West Africa, that is Yofi Anan. He's also interested in the business, and we've looked at it and we're like, okay, if we collaborated together, that Alvira can take care of the southern part of Africa, I can do East Africa, part of North Africa, and Yofi to take care of West Africa. That is a business that you can do from practically anywhere. You don't have to go to that town to build the site for the people, the local businesses there. You can do it right from here, just searching, getting in touch with the people on the phone. This is what you can do for.
Headhunting and finding people who are going to be suitable to have a franchise.
Exactly. So and I know Paul he's very interested in selling the franchise, and we discussed it, and I told him, of course, it's a without a doubt something that I would want. But I told him, I mean, the period with the lockdown and all that, business has been very low, and what businesses right now, what we are trying to do is just make ends meet. Just do what you can, just to, if you can get a client, go in, do the work for them, give it your all, and then let's see how it's going to improve. But I believe that with technology, we don't need to care about a lockdown.
Exactly. And I've been working with Paul for about 4 years now, and
Okay.
I've given him a lot of strategies, and the new website has a lot of my ideas on it. So, for example, I told him he needs to create within his categories. He had a lot of different categories, but I told him to create online businesses as a category.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously a lot
Yeah.
of businesses will go into online. So don't just put them in their niche, if you like, their sector, but put them in
Mm-hmm.
as an online business as well. So whether they do delivery, everything can be done online or not. So he did that. I also told him to create a section where people can put their own events on, which will help with the organic traffic of the regular changing content. Yeah.
Right.
He's got that
Yes.
as well. I've also told him to do the same thing for within the microsite, so people can put their own offers on. So it'll always be
Mm-hmm.
changing offers and stuff, because that's what Google likes, and that's what gets you ranking up, and it's what gets you even more page ones and stuff.
Of
So,
course. Of
so
course.
and then I also told him quite a long time ago to do social media marketing, and he
Mm-hmm.
was used to doing door knocking. So he was a bit slow to the uptake because he's not from a social media age. He's older than me, he's in his mid-50s, and so he's just not so familiar with social and was a bit slower to the market. And then about 6 months ago, he said, "Oh, I wish I started social media like 3 years ago when you told me, but he's doing it.
Yeah.
So he's doing it all now. So it just takes different people different amounts of time to get used to technology and stuff. But I suppose if he'd have listened to me 3 years ago when the lockdown happened, he'd have been a lot further ahead to being able to just operate online without the thing. But people take whatever time they take. I work with mostly entrepreneurs older than me, mid-50s, mid-60s. I'm only 42, coming up to 43, and I help those
Right.
older entrepreneurs. I'm like at the front end of technology. When I was in school,
Yes.
I had a computer studies grade A at GCSE, which is like high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my brother's
Okay.
2 years older than me. He didn't have a computer studies exam. There wasn't computer studies. So 2 years older than me. There was no computers. And then literally computers come in just as I was in school. So I was always at the front end of the queue, if you like, of working with computers and technology.
Okay.
And I've kept on that front end all the time. I used to be a national sales director, and I used to cover the whole of the UK. And I used to go to London quite a lot, and I would go in and I would go to London events, things like TFMA, which is a
Okay.
technology for marketing and advertising event. So you go to
Right.
a place like that, and London's one of the top 10 power cities of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to London, learn a lot of stuff, bring it back to Wales, and live off that for 10 years, because everyone else in Wales is 10 years behind, waiting for the.
Yes.
Yeah, because people in Wales don't go to London so much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Whereas
technology is all about. It's all about just getting to know what different is it.
yeah, what's the
Is
new stuff? What's the innovative stuff? And I was going to London at one point in my career, which I was 10 years in. I was probably going to London 3 times a week.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you get to know a lot more of what's cutting edge, rather than
Of
just what you've heard about a bit down the line. And so I
Yeah.
kept that as a culture. So in my 8 years of self-employed since I left my company, I've still
Yes.
kept learning on the coalface, right at the front. I like to be right at
Mhm.
the front of the queue, so I can
Of course.
learn stuff and then spend 10 years teaching other people.
Oh wow! I mean, your journey is just amazing. Tell me, how far is it from Wales to London? I've been to London
It's
once.
about 2.5 hours to 3.5 hours. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So unless you've got a reason to go in the UK, it's not long, but it's not short. It's quite a while, and that's from say
Yeah, I can tell the distance. It
that's
must
from
be quite
Cardiff.
far.
Swansea, which is another big city in Wales, it's another hour on then, so it'll be like 3.5 to 4.5 hours. So,
Mm.
so people don't. It's just like Londoners very rarely go to Wales, like because why do you have to leave London? What's the reason to make you want to leave London when London's got everything?
True.
And Cardiff's a bit like that.
Yeah.
It's the city of Wales. So why do people want to go to London? Because a lot of people outside of London that go to London, they go to London because of theatre or the football or a lot of them the airports and stuff. But in Cardiff, for example, there's Cardiff Airport and there's Bristol Airport not far away.
Mm.
So they don't need to go to London to catch a plane because there's two international airports either side.
Right.
And then
Right.
don't need to, people from Cardiff or Wales can go into Cardiff for theatre or for the football or for the rugby, like the Millennium Stadium. We got one of the
Right.
best stadiums in the world. So
Wow.
people from like England will go to London for like nights out and days and stuff. But people from Wales, we got our own capital city. So unless you're used to doing business in London, there's not really a good reason to
We
have
want
to
to
go to
go
London.
there.
Well,
Obviously, makes a lot
people
of
will go
sense.
there
Yeah.
now and then to have a day out or a weekend at the theatre, or they'll go now and then, but they don't go
Right.
often.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that applies also to when I look at Kenya. That it's it's almost the same. That the people who live in the city are more exposed to technology and what is going on in the rest of the world than people who.
You're Nairobi, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I
Uh,
live in Nairobi.
is that not the capital of Kenya?
Yes, it is the capital of
Yeah,
of
yes. So
Kenya.
that's why. So you'll know a lot more technology than the people living in the other towns.
Of course. I mean, if you go to another town, in fact, you find now our space in terms of technology is that people now, almost everybody has a cell phone. In fact, majority of people have two cell phones. For me, it doesn't. I've never put my head around that
I
because
have two. I have two.
you have to. Oh my gosh, I don't understand it because I'm like I cannot use two phones at the same time anyway. So why do I need two phones?
No, well,
So
so to tell you the reason why I do is because I use Apple and I like Apple phones, yeah. But the
okay,
batteries are
yep.
terrible on Apple phones.
I know. Oh yeah, they are.
And I'm
That's
always on the phone,
true.
right? I'm always using the phone for social media or blogging or whatever, like yeah. So I always used to have like my phone constantly on charge, yeah. And then it gets very
Well,
hot. It's not so good, and that, yeah. So now what I
yes.
do is I put one on charge and one in my hand, and then when one's flat, I put that on charge and grab the other one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of
It's like
sense.
a
Yeah, because
rotation, like a tag team.
I exactly. So I mean, it's amazing how you were able to do that. So I also had to change to an Android phone because the iPhone, yes, it has that issue. I mean, if you're using it, unless you can keep up with buying the new products all the time,
Yeah.
the battery is just it's. I don't know why they. I don't know. Maybe it makes business sense for them, but the battery for iPhone, it's gonna kill you. But I mean, this other one. I mean, if I charge it in the morning, unless I didn't charge it the previous night, I can use it the whole day without worrying that my phone
Yeah,
will go off.
that is the one thing I wish Apple would sort out is the battery. But I love Apple so much.
Yeah,
I'm so used to
yeah,
all the apps and all of the technology that I have to just have a second phone. I just keep older ones, like So when I upgrade a phone, I keep the old one and get rid of the older one of the two I had before, So I just keep two on the go. In fact, I've probably got a few old iPhones, and I definitely got a few other phones just knocking around places just in case. Like the other day, I smashed one of my phones. I was out on my bike. I dropped it out of my pocket, and a lorry ran over it.
Oh no.
I was about to get it on the road, and a lorry ran over it. But luckily, I was just about to upgrade anyway, so it didn't make too much of a difference. I lost like
Right.
24 hours, and that was it.
Wow. Oh wow. I mean,
But
the
like
phones.
But like Cardiff and London as well, compared to the other towns, if you like,
Mhm.
Nairobi would be a lot more international because there'd probably be a bigger airport, and most of the international flights would come from there. So yours would be much more sort of cosmopolitan, mixed culture in
Of
comparison
course.
to some of the other towns and cities of Kenya.
Yes, yes. I mean, I mean, technology and and even here I've seen people are always on YouTube, they're always
Yeah.
on Google,
Well,
they want to
would
find
have
out.
you would have a lot of Americans, a lot of Middle Easterns, a lot of Brits
Mhm.
coming in for like the engineering and the petrochemicals and
Yes,
so
yes,
it's like the city, isn't it? You know, everyone haven't got time. They're all busy on their phone,
yes.
latest phones.
you
You know,
you know it very well. Yes, you understand it. Have you been to Nairobi before
no,
or
I'm not.
Kenya?
I've only been
Any
to.
part of Africa?
I've only been to Africa once. I went to Morocco,
Oh, okay. Wow, yeah, up
so
there.
North
That would
Africa.
be
But
nice.
I,
I've
I
not
think
been.
I think that's not as African as because it's very French influenced Morocco, isn't it?
Yeah,
North, so it's not that different than say I don't know. I don't know. It was quite African. It was quite what I would imagine Africa to be with the things like the colours and the
mm,
sounds and the tastes. You know, because that's what I think of Africa as. You know, I think
right.
that a lot of people are stuck in like the 80s and when it was like Band Aid and World Aid and remembered the droughts of where was it to beginning with the Ethiopia and all that, you know,
Yeah,
the droughts. But I don't see Africa like that. You know, I think some people still who are stuck in the past might see
of
Africa
course.
of those times when you had some of the droughts and that in especially Ethiopia and those sort of countries. But I love culture and colours and sounds and vibrancy and all that. And that's what I
And
envisage.
food.
That's where I see Africa as, like, you know.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Africa is it's very diverse with culture, and even for me, the few African countries that I've visited, the most thing that I like to experience when I visit a new place is I want to go and experience the food. I want to do something different that they what do these people do differently. I like to buy souvenirs. Like in Africa, what I like is the traditional dresses that they have. So I find that very intriguing. I'm like, oh, I have to buy one
Yes.
traditional dress that they have in that particular country. So I like that. And I mean, the experiences, I mean, you cannot go bad with experiences. It's always something new, something different. What do these people do on a normal day? Do they wake up? I mean, is their program the same as ours, that you wake up at this
Yeah,
time,
well,
you go to
that's
bed at
and,
this
and,
time?
and you know, Africa is very similar to Europe that way. Every single country's got a strong identity, its own language, its own food, etc.
Exactly.
So, like, I've been
Yeah.
all over Europe. I've been all over Europe, you know, to like France and Italy and Spain and been to Sweden and lots of the islands all around, the Spanish islands, Greece. You know, they're all very different, and I
Yes. Yeah.
as the same, like, you know, because they all speak a different language and they have different food. And I love trying different foods. I love spicy food as well. So, so
Right.
I probably would love Africa. I loved Morocco. I might go back there at some point. But I do like to, I might go to Egypt next time or whatever. South Africa.
Mm,
I've got a friend from South Africa, and I just love traveling. I do. I love trying cultures and just tasting, like you say, a sample of the life and you know different activities that you can do in different places. I love adrenaline type activities, so I
right.
get the heart rate. I do things like zip wiring and what else I do? Indoor skydiving,
Diving, yeah,
driving
yeah. Oh
cars
my
around
gosh.
racetracks, anything like that. You know,
Okay, excellent. Oh, fantastic. I think then in Africa, you'd love Ghana,
yeah,
because their food is amazing. They have good food and but spicy, because you like spices.
I love a spicy
Definitely
food.
love,
Yeah,
yeah, you definitely love Ghana, and even Nigeria. Their food is it's good food. Even Ethiopia, they love the spices. But
yes, yeah,
what I didn't like about the food in Ethiopia is very oily. So for me, that's a bit too much. But I mean, you love the experience of food in Africa is it's fantastic. I'm sure you'd love it.
yeah.
So I mean,
I know.
yeah, and like you said, you want to network, you'll definitely love Africa, because we are a very social people. We love to interact um, with people, and that was one of the other things that was very shocking about the lockdown, because people here love to interact, to socialize, to talk.
Very
Then now
social.
you're telling me that I cannot talk to someone. Now I have to wear a mask to talk to someone. It's not even now, until now, it's people have still not got it. They are wondering, is this really necessary, or
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's been it's I mean, the lockdown has really taught us a lot of things. So if you did not change during the lockdown, there is something that you're missing out in the world, because you need to network, you need to have changed something from this lockdown. It cannot be business as usual anymore.
It's a new
Now,
usual, it's a new world, it's a new norm. It's globalization now. Globalization was happening anyway. It was getting
yeah,
quicker and quicker and quicker, but now it's just like zoomed up 100 miles an hour,
yes.
I've got a 7-step success formula, which you might be interested in. It's
Okay.
the 7 pillars of success. I believe if everybody was to work on these 7 areas, then they're all guaranteed to be more successful in life. Yeah.
Okay.
And that is,
Okay.
it's called streams, and it
Streams.
stands for systems,
Mm-hmm.
technology,
Uh-huh.
relationships,
Right.
efficiency,
Mm-hmm.
action,
Mm-hmm.
marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and sales.
And sales. Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's so. You coined that
I
yourself?
created that. Yeah, I created that. I also created before that a 5-step happiness formula called SMART.
Smart.
SMART, yeah.
Okay.
It's actually really a 7-step plan, but I'll tell you why, right? So I wanted
Mm-hmm.
it to be smart. I was looking at the words and trying to make an acronym. But so it's sleep,
Okay.
meditation, yeah, sleep,
Uh-huh.
meditation,
Uh-huh.
ability to perform,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, random acts of kindness, and
Okay.
targets.
Okay.
Right, so ability to perform covers exercise, nutrition, and hydration.
Okay.
Yeah, but I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
make a good word with exercise, hydration, and nutrition, and I wanted to be
Yes.
smart. Yeah,
Okay.
so I put
Mm-hmm.
the 3 of those under ability to perform because those 3 are what keep you in an ability to perform. You
I
don't
see that.
exercise, you don't have good nutrition, and you don't have hydration, and you'll
Yeah.
out of sorts. Yeah. So
Okay.
really, it's a 7-step plan, and I've squeezed into 5 in order to be smart.
Yes.
But literally, if you do those things, so the 5, so if you do the 5 or the 7 things daily, you will be happier than you are now. Guaranteed, you'll be happier than you are without doing them. They're
I actually think
scientifically
so. I
proven.
agree with you.
They're
Mm.
scientifically proven to release endorphins. All of those things are, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you cannot not be happier. Yeah.
That's true. It has to come from
Yeah.
the inside out.
Yes. So then if you combine the 2 together, they're called smart streams,
Mm-hmm. Smart street. Wow.
which
Okay.
is an elite business performance formula because you can be successful, the 7 steps of success, but if you don't look after your health and your wellness and your well-being, you'll only be successful for a shorter amount of time.
Of course. Yes.
But if you actually look after the 2 together, you can have long-term sustained success. Yeah. Yeah, which I would call
That's
elite business performance formula.
elite business. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. I want to read your book.
Yes. So I'm actually writing at the moment seminars and courses and all that around these 2 formulas.
Hmm.
And the good thing about smart streams is if you follow smart streams regularly, it will put you into full flow. Have you heard of full flow? Do you know what full flow is?
No. Enlighten me.
So full flow is when you are doing everything that you want to be doing in such a great way that you're doing it in sort of like autopilot.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that. I guess
Yeah.
that is what you're doing, because if you're you do all the activities that you do every day
Yeah.
for, I mean, the way you've been doing it, you definitely are applying full
Well,
flow.
yeah, if you basically, if you're doing something you love and something you believe in, yeah, and so if you an exercise, if you're as happy as you can be and you're doing what you believe in, then it becomes sort of like second nature. It
Mm,
just happens, yeah.
it's automatic. Yeah, I
Just
agree with you. I
happens,
mean,
okay?
yeah,
And the better and the more in line with your mission, vision, and values, the more in line with your inner self, your tasks are, the and the more energy you put into the task, the more you'll be able to just like whatever comes in your way, you'll just knock it out of the way,
of course,
which
of
is like a
course.
river in full flow.
Yes,
So
I hear it now.
what you believe in and you're passionate about it and you're creating so much activity and energy, then you can stick big boulders in front of the river, but the river's going to keep running through.
That's true. Oh, I mean, I like it. I mean, your energy, I can see it, and the passion in what you do, it's contagious. I can feel it from here through the computer.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's, I get told that quite a lot, like, so, I have some fantastic conversations with people on my podcast. I have some fantastic conversations with people before the podcast, after the podcast, during networking events and whatever. And, I'm surrounded myself by a fantastic network of positive people. And I'm
Yeah.
belonging to a number of really good tight networks as well as looser, wide networks. And so,
Yeah.
like one of my networks is full of people who are coaches and trainers and stuff. So we're all a very good niche of peer people. We're all doing the same things. And so what
Yeah.
happens is it creates like a ball of energy. It's like a mastermind group.
True.
Yeah, where everyone's going in the
Mhm.
same direction, and you can't help but just get pulled along by the crowd and the energy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have felt it. I mean, the people I've connected with, and what I like about the network is that you're there. People just want to know who you are, what are you doing, because I've interacted with some people who I think I would not have met them on a regular
Yeah,
basis, like just with the normal operation of things, because people like Sally Anderson is someone who I've seen. I mean, this is somebody you can talk to so freely, and she gives her everything. You ask a question, she's there, she's responding. You need assistance with something, she takes it out of her time to try and do something for you. I mean, I have, to be honest, I don't think I've seen this a lot of time, because most people will be like, oh, okay, I could help you here, but what's in it for me? That
yeah,
has been the general way of operation. Always somebody is looking to get something out of someone. But the kind of networks that I've seen, even now, the people that have, even if they're not on the networks, that I know that this person has this type of a potential, or this type of energy towards something. Now I want to talk to them, because I've seen now, okay, even if these people are not in your circles, now you can reach them. It's created also a level of confidence. I'm a very super confident person, but when I got on the networks, I was like, oh, you mean this is new? Okay, not strange, but it's very new. So I'm
yeah.
getting used to it also. I mean, I was the type of person who did not want to use WhatsApp so often, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to join the group. In fact, I used people who used to put me in groups, and before they have even I've checked what is it, I've already exited. I did not want to be in any group. Now I am dying to be in groups.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm due
Yeah.
to have Sally on my podcast at some point. I think next week. So yeah, I look forward to that one. I had a really good contact from the Powerful Women group today. I just trying to. It was something
Mhm.
Platt's her name is. She was an awesome person as well.
Mhm.
She was on my podcast either today or yesterday. I don't know. Can't keep up. I
Okay, you can. Oh, me,
don't always
I
keep up.
try. I try to keep up very well. Where is she from?
Kim Adele.
Oh, Kim Adele, yes, we've had Kim Adele Platz. We've had there's one time that Mark hosted a drink up. Can you believe that? Virtual drink up. And I was like, oh, me, I just told him, you know what? I don't care what it's all about. I'm coming in. So, I mean, I got on the podcast. There was Kim, there was Robert Bush, there was Professor Offerman, there was who else was in? There was Mark, of course, and Marisol. Marisol joined, and the lady Damaris Zampini. So even her, she joined at some point. So it was such a very interesting network where people came with their bottle of wine, and the people were just talking. There was no agenda, and it was such a rewarding experience that now you can say, oh, wait a minute, you can actually have a drink with somebody virtually. It is very strange, but it happened. We did it, and it went on.
I did it on Facebook Live one Saturday evening. I just went on Facebook Live, and as people joined, I was just telling people that I'm listening to some music, I'm having a drink, and if you want to join me, join me.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, it was interesting because now we don't have to be worried about another lockdown. We'll be like, it's okay, let's just have the lockdown. As long as there are enough people online, you can be able to find, oh, what's happening. So it's a social meet, but not in person. But you can still see somebody. Yes. You're communicating with a real person. So I mean, it definitely is amazing. These networks, I can't tell you how good they are for me, and just building up different type of synergies with people that this one is telling you, oh, I can do this, can we work together? It's just amazing. I can see the business is definitely going to improve, just to try and do business with other people, even if you don't see them in person, but they are on WhatsApp and on Zoom. I mean, I have a Zoom call like almost every other day, talking to someone new, and for me, the experience has just been amazing. The support, I can't tell you how. I mean, Mike Armstrong, when would you ever have thought of, let me look for Ciru Mwaniki so that I can invite her for my podcast? Let me find out what she's doing, if it was not for this lockdown.
Yes, yeah, you're right, and so many things are going to come out of this. I think I personally think the whole world and the whole economy and everything's going to improve massively. Yeah. Once it gets over the problem of, all of the immediate effects and the businesses not being able to trade and that, I think the new way of a lot of businesses working is going to be so much more efficient and so much more effective. So I think people are going to be happier. I think there's going to be more people happier, and there's going to be more people having a better work-life balance. And I'm hoping, the world will be, a better place for it. There's going to be a lot less traveling, which is good for the environment.
Of course it is, yes. Of course it is.
Lots of benefits, I think. And then I'll say there'll be less regular traveling, but then I think there might be a bit of an increase in traveling as well, with all these virtual friends, if you like, end up
yes.
each other,
Exactly, because now if I'm thinking, oh, now I can travel to England, I have now enough people to see in England. If I want to go to Brazil, I'll just be, oh, hi, I'll be passing by Brazil, can we meet up? So it's created also just the friendships, from someone you normally would not have connected with on a regular day, but because of that interaction. And I think it's also because of the issue of just a telephone and a telephone number. I think it's very personal to someone. So if you do get in touch with somebody that way, I kept telling Mark, there were only two results: either you offend somebody or you make somebody very curious. So the curious ones will get in and talk to someone and find out, oh wow, this is just what I needed. I needed to interact with somebody. And now with WhatsApp, it makes it more seamless, because you can even call somebody at the instant of a button without thinking of the costs, because all you need is internet connection. That's it. I mean, if I think back 10, 15 years ago, this would definitely would not have been
Oh,
possible
no,
because
it cost a lot of money.
I
It would have cost a lot of money, so
exactly
you have to make a decision on whether something was going to come out of it that was going to cover the cost. Whereas
exactly.
when it's free, it doesn't really matter if anything comes out of it or not.
Yes, you just want to interact. You
It
just want
doesn't
to
matter. Yeah,
talk to
exactly.
someone. So
And ultimately, I think the people who will bond and network together during this time are people with a big picture view, a globalization view. People who, there are people in Wales who, won't even travel 10 miles to do business with someone 10 miles away. And there are in every part of the world, there are people like that who are, they just like to stay local. They're local people and they
yes,
just do business.
yes,
But then, so those people, probably have had businesses that have been shut down and they haven't really reached out to anyone else. And
of course.
that they will have been affected and won't have any benefit from it. But there's lots of other people who've been affected, but they're reaching out to a wider audience and wider people, and if you like, building a tribe, if you like, a tribe of people who share the same views and the same ideals. So instead of you having to spend a lot of time with a local tribe where you get on because you all are local, but you have lots of different things in common, you can actually say, well, actually, I'm gonna speak to a wider tribe from a much bigger area, but we're much more, we got many more things in common because we've all seeked each other out amongst the 80 billion people on the planet, or however many people there are. I don't know how many there are, but there's a lot.
A lot of people, yes.
A lot of people.
I wish we could be able to connect to everybody. Everybody. I mean,
on my podcast this last week or so, I had somebody who was from Louisiana in America, but living in
okay.
Taiwan via Korea. I've got yourself. I've been on with a couple of people in 3 different parts of Africa. So South Africa, West Africa, and East Africa, I think. I've been on with somebody from Canada, somebody from Miami, somebody from Texas, somebody from Germany. Um, before that, I used to just network in the UK, and a lot before that, I used to just network in Wales. But
Wow. So
I'm
it's just
on I'm on 3 times a week with people from Ireland, so I'm going to go over to Ireland soon because it's not far from Wales. But my nan was from Ireland, but I didn't really know many people in Ireland because she came to Wales. And now I'm going to go over to Ireland as soon as there's a big event or something. And because I've been networking with a network of people, about 40 of them, who are all from Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland, and they feel like
yes.
my family now because I've seen them every day for about 3 months in lockdown, and then it's gone to 3 times a week now that we do like spend an hour or hour and a half together, So people like that, you feel like family once you've gone through an adverse situation like a lockdown, and you've spoken to them every day.
Yes.
They feel like family, they feel like part of the furniture.
I know, yes. I mean, it makes it so seamless and effortless that somebody you can connect with on the phone, it's easy for you to just make a call or tell them, okay, can you come on to Zoom? Let's just have a chat. And that's why you found that I was even asking you. So do you want us, is there an agenda specifically or a guide of how you want the podcast to go? But the most amazing thing, you just say, just dive in. I mean, you don't have to plan, don't overthink things, So it's been very.
If we met at a networking event in the real world, we wouldn't send each other an agenda and say, "Oh, hello, well, let's meet over in the coffee shop in 10 minutes and let's have a plan." You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's how. I'm happy to just talk with people. I've been in sales for 30 years, so I'm quite good at asking questions because sales.
Right.
If you're good at sales, you don't sell, you ask questions, and then you
Yes.
find out problems and you deliver solutions.
Solution, yes.
And that's why I'm good at podcasting, is because I've had a lifetime of practicing, of interviewing people.
Oh, wow.
If I ask you, what have you done in lockdown, and you're not a talker, and you said to me, oh, I haven't done much, etc., that's not enough information for me on that sector. So I would say, well, have you done any particular pivoting? Have you done anything online? And then they might say, oh, not really. And then that's not enough for that sector. So then I would go, so if you haven't done anything online, have you done anything maybe, in your personal life, maybe getting a bit fitter so you just keep probing down a direction until you get enough information you want, and then you go on to something else. So I have 5 very loose questions that I ask people. How's lockdown been for you, and have you pivoted? What's your background like? What's your business like, and what's it doing? What's your future plans, and how do people get in touch with you? That's 5 little steers. But to some people, you could just say those 5 things, and you'll get 45 minutes. You have to try and stop them talking about each of those.
I know, yes.
Whereas with other people, they'll just give you a little bit, and then you just probe a little bit more, because it's going to end too short otherwise. But it's just questioning techniques, which when you're in sales and you're offering solutions, you just learn these skills anyway. I used to teach sales. I used to teach corporate sales training to my whole team, and to the whole company. I've done training to the whole company, to the SMEs as well, to all the different departments, the SMEs. So, for me, I don't even know a lot of the time what I know or how I'm doing it or why I'm doing it. I suppose I'm just in flow. You know what I mean? It's just happening.
Wow. Oh yeah. I mean,
I don't think about it. It just happens. When I started my podcast, I didn't think, right, this is what I'm going to ask. I just started asking questions, and it ended up being the same 5 questions, because they're the 5 things that I want to know about people. If I meet them, they're the things I care about. Where they are right now, what their history is, what their business does, what they're heading for in the future, and how people can get in touch with them. That's the things I want to know from them. So it's just the obvious, For me, it was just.
Oh wow, yeah.
Sense,
I mean, it's just amazing. Let me ask you a question. I can see on behind you there's something there that says you can do it. What's the motivation for that?
So believe it or not, right, the universe chose You Can Do It, okay? So when I created my podcast, I was just going to call it the Mike Armstrong podcast, right? Because I'm on a mission to become a global speaker, which means I got to become as known as I can. So I got a business called MA Consultancy, but no one knows what the MA stands for. It stands for Mike Armstrong. I've now got a website called mikearmstrong.me, and I'm going to register a limited company, Mike Armstrong. And my podcast is called the Mike Armstrong Podcast. And my YouTube channel is called the Mike Armstrong YouTube channel, because I want to become known as me, not as my business or a business name or any other name, just me.
Right.
Because that's what I'm going to be speaking.
Yeah, because that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But when I was basically, when you set up a podcast, it allows you to go through graphic design and pick an image. So I was scrolling through quickly looking for a pink image, right? Because I wanted it to be pink, because in marketing terms, I know it would stand out because it's unique, it's different. Not many people would have pink, right?
True, also, and especially not a man.
Especially, yeah. I got 3 daughters as well, so I'm used to the color pink, right? Also, I won awards as a marketeer for a company who launched, and they were pink.
Oh.
So pink is quite prevalent in my life, if you like, yeah. Okay, and I'm a real man who can wear pink. I don't mind. I got no qualms. Some men would be like, I can't wear pink. I've worn pink shirts, pink ties. I got no bother with pink whatsoever. It's just a color to me, And so, I wanted to stand out because I'm a marketeer, and good marketing's about standing out. So I was looking through for pink, and the first pink background that I seen was this one. And it had You Can Do It on. And I thought, you know what, I'll call myself the Mike Armstrong You Can Do It podcast. So I actually market it as a hashtag Mike Armstrong podcast, and also hashtag You Can Do It podcast. And sometimes I'll do Mike Armstrong You Can Do It podcast, but mostly I market it as the 2 different things. As the 2, but it's the same site, but I use the 2 different names depending. And the reason that You Can Do It resonated with me is because, like I believe everything is possible. So I believe you whatever it is, you can do it. Yeah. And obviously, I set up my podcast originally as being a positivity motivational podcast. I do a lot of personal
Right.
development. Yeah. And obviously, I want to become a speaker. So what I was going to talk about was motivation, positivity, and personal development, which I do talk about. I do a morning motivation every morning, first thing, first episode every day is a morning motivation. I talk a lot about personal
Yes.
development because I'm constantly learning personal development off other grandmasters, the world leaders. Plus,
Yes.
I also want to educate entrepreneurs about sales and marketing and social media and networking, because if I give them my information, which I can, then they can do it too. So if they listen to my information, they can also become good at
Wow.
sales, become good at marketing, become good at social media, become good at networking, become good at being an entrepreneur. So it's sort of like it tied in with a bit of everything, really.
Oh wow. I
The
mean, okay,
universe sent it. The
I wouldn't
universe
have,
sent it, like, you know.
yeah, I wouldn't have thought that's the motivation behind it, but now I can see. I mean, everything that you have been doing, it's all about you can do it, because you're also telling somebody else, come and I can teach you. For me, I mean, even all the things that you said, one of the things I'm not very good at is social media, because um, I've done a cybersecurity course. We even delivered it to a local bank here, and I became a bit wary. I'm like, oh, social media, what is it? But now I can see that I can use it now for business, because I think it's important. But the biggest challenge that people have had, or even I have had with social media, is not knowing how to use it properly, how to
Yeah.
make sure you drive the traffic properly to your social media, because
But
that is a
yeah.
definite.
And I
Yeah.
got loads of those tips on my website, on my podcast. Yeah. So I've been social media marketing. So there's a difference. See, social media is talking to your friends on social media platforms. Social media
Yes.
marketing is marketing to new connections on social media platforms. So there's a difference.
Right.
Yeah. And I've been doing social media marketing. I don't actually use social media for social, except maybe in the lockdown when you
Right.
can't socialize. So I've started maybe
Mhm.
doing a bit more socializing on social media, but mostly
Yeah.
more on Zoom. Yeah. But I don't use social media for social media. I use
Right.
social media for news, for information, and for
Hmm.
marketing to new people.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
wow. I mean, that for me is a very key point, because even as I'm getting new clients, I want to be able to help them and tell them this is the way you need to use social media to totally market. I think it definitely would be a good thing to let people know that social media is basically not a place to just be personal. You
Yeah.
need to use it for business, because everybody everywhere is doing something. Either you're selling a product, you're providing a service. If you can use social media, because it has the capacity to go wide and help you get new connections, and for business, because I believe anybody on your social media network is a potential customer, but it's how you communicate with them, how you interact with these
Yeah.
people, that is what can help. So for me, I'm very keen also on learning the basics of how to use social media properly and well. But I also want to ensure that I don't take too much time. Let me do what I'm good at, and then that's where people like Paul come in, because he has a product that is already working. If you can leverage that and help your customer get on board on this platform, and now that way they are able to expand. Because for instance, the music business is a very good business, and if I can get my artists and tell them, oh, by the way, this is how I can market your music on this platform without necessarily spending too much money on social media itself, just paying, you can be able to use that. And for me, I think that it's a winner for sure. I love it. I love this. I love this business. I believe in
If you could find a business in Nairobi, yeah, that does business events, business training,
yeah.
online or in the real world, and they're looking
Hmm.
for speakers who can educate the business community about how to use social media for business purposes and not for
Of
social,
course.
then I've been doing that for, probably somewhere in the region of 18 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So since social
Wow.
media existed, I was one of the early adopters to LinkedIn, which I believe was one of the first social media platforms.
Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn, it has taught me how to use it differently. Me, before I was like, okay, just put your profile there and let people find you. But I didn't know, okay, you actually need to do some work on it. Um,
Contact
to
some people, send some messages, do some networking.
Exactly. I have never done that. So now I take time because even Sally has put me to challenge. She tells me, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. So I'll go on LinkedIn and always even somebody I've not ever spoken to, I'll go send them a message, say hello. This is what I do. I introduce, it's actually like just reintroducing yourself. This is what I do. And I'd like to know more about you. Just initiating that conversation. And I've seen that, I mean, LinkedIn, I don't think even I want to concentrate on being on any other network. This one for me is just enough because
Yeah.
what I want is business. So I don't want to tell people that you can find me here, everywhere. It's okay to have them, but I think LinkedIn it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
It can provide you with everything that you need
Well,
for your
a good
business.
way of engaging with people on LinkedIn is
Yeah,
to like their posts and comment
of
on their
course.
posts, and then
That's
people
what
want to get to know more about you. So I do a post at 2 o'clock in the afternoon every day. Okay, I'm part of
Mm-hmm.
what's called a LinkedIn pod.
Okay.
What happens is we form a WhatsApp group,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for people in a pod. We call the
Right.
pod I'm in is called Business Network Wales, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's 20 members, and what happens is at 2 o'clock every day, okay, the people who want to post that day put their post onto LinkedIn, and then they go into their post, grab the URL, and put it into the WhatsApp group. And then everyone on
Right.
the WhatsApp group likes and comments on their post if they've posted that day. So everyone who's posted also likes and comments the other people who posted. And if you can get 10 likes or comments in the first hour, your post will go viral. So instead of having like 50 views, you'll have 500 views. Or if you get
Mm,
20 likes or comments, you'll have 1,000 views. So it goes much further because it's
right.
to do with like LinkedIn algorithms. So like literally, if you joined a Nairobi, if you created a Nairobi pod, yeah, you can
Mm-hmm.
basically get like 20, 30 businesses together and you all post at a certain time of the day, and then you like and comment on each other's posts, and you're all helping each other go much further with your marketing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would not have thought of that, and I see how that would be powerful because that I've seen the interactions on LinkedIn. They create a base for interacting with other people, reaching a wider audience, and I've seen it actually is working on LinkedIn. So that is what, in fact, one of the things that I learned when I was telling a client that I can help you boost your views on YouTube, and this is what you need to do, is because I told him that one of the important, if it's music, you must interact with your audience in the comments on your music video. So if you don't go there and just talk to somebody, it doesn't have to be, they don't have to have said anything, just interact. They took, it means if somebody took the time to write a comment on your video, they watched your video, they commented, that is an audience you want to keep there.
Yeah,
So
they're a
you
fan.
need to,
They're a fan, but they're only a fan if you nurture them. But
exactly,
they're a
yes,
potential fan. But that's what you're trying to build up. So if you just ignore them, then they might get hurt as a fan because they're like, "Oh, this person
exactly,
doesn't engage with me," and then they'll
doesn't
be
get,
a fan of
exactly,
someone
yes,
else's.
Yes, yes. So I told him, I mean, engaging these people, if somebody took time to write something, oh, that is somebody you have to make sure they come tomorrow again and again. And so you have to go tell them something, say hello, talk to a new subscriber, welcome them to the channel. I
Yeah.
mean, that I've
Like
seen
when people, like
definitely works. So I'll definitely
I
advise
post,
this.
yeah, I post my episodes of the podcast onto LinkedIn, and then
Mhm.
when people comment that they like the episode or that was awesome or whatever, I always say, oh, oh, thanks for your kind comments. You're awesome. And then I usually say, would you like to come on my podcast and have a chat about your business? Like,
Yes, yes.
Uh,
I mean, this is for me. This was so amazing. I can't wait to get the recording so that I can go over it again. What we talked about, I can't wait for it to be on LinkedIn so that I can go back there. Now I can share with people. I tell them, oh, you need to. This is a. I was in a I was a guest at a podcast. Please come and like it and let's interact because I think. Definitely the content was it was an amazing talk and without an agenda, like you say,
yes.
just dive in, so
Yeah, yeah,
I really like it. I mean, this is just amazing.
well,
I've really enjoyed the podcast.
yeah, and I've enjoyed it too, and it's been fantastic. But I'm conscious that it's late where you are now as well, and you get up early in the morning as well.
Oh my gosh, it's already okay. Well, I guess the conversation was very good. I mean, we've gone on for 1.5 hours. That's amazing.
Yes, definitely. And
There was
believe
a
it
lot to
or
talk
not,
about.
I just so my podcasts are normally 45 minutes, but the one before this was 8 o'clock. Finished at no, yeah, at 8:55, and we jumped on at 9. Yeah, so
Yes.
that was an hour, just under an hour. This was hour and a half, and then the one I had before that was the longest one I've ever had, which was 2 hours or about
Oh wow.
an hour and 45 minutes. So, and so they're usually like they're 45 minutes, and sometimes they go to an hour. But
Right.
yes, so we had a lot to talk about. We had a lot in common. I'm also, it's lucky that we both didn't have something else to do as well, which means we didn't have
Oh
the
yeah,
time
the
pressure
timing.
to have to
Yes.
end
So
it.
you see, timing works.
Yes.
If and at that time I was feeling, oh, 5 o'clock, I may be a bit rushed and I have so many things I needed to finish, but everything worked out perfectly. I mean, now we've had a conversation that has gone on that we didn't expect is going to last that long. I mean, that's just amazing. That's the power of networking. I
Yes.
can see you working. I'm going to go before I go to bed. I'm going to talk to Mark and tell you, oh, we've had a
Yeah, well,
conversation with my.
the one that was sort of nearly 2 hours, we had a lot in common, and I think me and you got a lot in common as well. So,
Yes,
because we basically both got the same businesses, it's just
yes,
you work on processes and systems in the business operation, and I work on
yes,
processes and systems in the business sales and marketing. So, very similar, sort of solutions really. We're both solutions
yes,
providers. So therefore, lots of synergy, lots of common ground, and also we got the networking in common and the Zoom and just enthusiasm and optimism and life in general. And so, yeah, sometimes it can be a struggle to get more than 20, 25 minutes out of some people because you just don't have
yes.
that same common
You don't
ground,
want to
that
talk,
same
or they are shy, they are not
board or
confident.
something,
Yes,
or the answers are very short, and then you're having to probe a bit more to get a bit more, and then you go and ask a different direction. You probe. But today it's just flowed. The conversation's been good. I think we can definitely work together on lots of things. So
oh, yes, 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 yes. If you, whatever it is you want, please don't hesitate to pass your idea to me. Send it on WhatsApp. I'll be there so quick.
yeah.
You won't even realize I've sent a message.
And if at any point in the future you can get me a paid speaking gig in Africa anywhere, then you can have some
Of
commission.
course.
You
I
can have some
mean,
commission.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
But,
That is how we are going to create these synergies because you're aspiring to be a speaker. I'm definitely wanting to network here. If they're going to, somebody will be like, "Hi, Shiro. We are looking for a speaker here. Are you able to connect us to someone?" I know Mike Armstrong. I've
yeah.
seen how he has good energy. He wants to share his information. to the world, you're free, and the way I've seen you, you're somebody definitely who will jump at, oh, where is this? So you'll go online. Let me Google this country. I don't know,
I'll
South
go
America.
anywhere. Like, I've travelled a lot of the world anyway, for leisure, and I
Yes,
used to cover all of the UK in my job. I've been on planes to Scotland, planes to Ireland, planes to Belfast. When you're used to doing that, it makes no difference whether you're going to Scotland, Ireland, and Ireland, or you're going to Germany, or you're going to Morocco, or you're going to Nairobi or Australia.
yes,
And I'm somebody, I went to Hawaii for my honeymoon, which was about 26 hours of traveling. Yeah,
right.
I drove from Wales to London, which is 2.5 hours, yeah, to catch a plane. I caught a
Mhm.
plane from, I think it was London to LA, then a plane from LA to um, no, sorry, it was London. It was London to Chicago, Chicago to LA, LA to Honolulu. Yeah, it was about 26 hours of traveling from the moment
Wow.
I left my house to the time we got into the hotel. Yeah, and I was awake for the whole 26 hours,
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, but the world, it doesn't mean you cannot go anywhere. As long as you want to, there is nothing as good
prepared
as
to.
going to
Yeah,
a new
to
place.
me, I've never had any fears really in life. I don't. I think fear is one of the things that gets in the way of people doing what they want to do. And for me, I've
Yes.
got no fears, so I'll travel anywhere in the world. You know what I mean? I wouldn't miss an opportunity because I thought, oh, that's a bit far. Whereas there's
Yeah.
other people I know who are
Exactly. Yeah.
like
Most people
that.
will be like,
Yeah, so some
and they
people
don't
are like
want
that.
unfamiliarity.
Yeah, it wouldn't make no difference to me. That's why I want to be a global speaker, because I love traveling. I love different experiences and different cultures, and I just think, well, if I can see the world at the same time as giving value to people, and meeting fantastic people and sharing the stage with awesome people, and all that, then why not? It's just it's to me it would be a fantastic life. So that's why I'm podcasting so hard. So hopefully one day I'll get that big break, that lucky break, or I'll write the book, or I'll earn my luck, or whatever happens. But I think it's my destiny, so I'm just gonna make
You
it
can
happen.
do it.
Yes,
You
I know,
can
I
do
know I
it.
can do it, which is why I'm doing it. So I'm already doing it. So that's why it's my mantra. I look at it every day, and I think, yeah, I can do it. I am doing it.
Oh wow, fantastic! I mean, this is just the beginning. So I mean, I'll keep in touch. Please keep in touch.
Yes, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
share ideas. Let's share what is happening in Wales. I'll keep you posted what's happening in Nairobi. What I think we can improve on here. And this business for things to do in with Paul, we have to make it work here. And I know it's gonna change the business environment in this country. I know it, I can see it. And I want whether it's a plumber, it's a big law firm, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Business is business. You'd actually want to know that the first person I put on my list is actually a plumber. And I can't wait for him to, because he thought, oh, that would be nice, but he's thinking that it's going to be a very complicated process. I told him, don't worry, just get me a picture of yourself, we'll do everything else for you,
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
have it.
That's
And
like when I do web design for SMEs and startups, a lot of the time they haven't got a clue what information needs to go into a website. So a lot of the time I go onto their Facebook page or whatever and create all of that content for them.
yes.
Sometimes that's what you got to do. You don't let the customer or the client get in the way of giving the information needed to create a site. Just get whatever you
Right.
can off them, and just create the rest. That's what I do with websites, and then I give them
Mhm.
the version, and then if they want to make any changes, they can, you know, never let them be the bug in the system. I'm proactive. So I just do it for them, if you like, and that helps, because a lot of the time they don't know what they want anyway. So if you ask them to, give me content, you'll be waiting 17 years for content.
True.
You know,
Yes, 20 years.
I'm just like, don't worry about the content.
They'll have
I'll write
retired.
the
They'll
content.
have retired before they give you
Yeah,
content.
yeah, because it's not their bag. It's not what they do. They're not used to writing and describing what they do, and they'll they don't think about keywords and stuff, so it won't be very good anyway. So I just like I'll write the content for you. At least I'll get the keywords in and all the different.
Yes. Oh wow, yeah. I mean, fantastic. I mean, this has been a very good way for me to end my evening. Because actually, even one of the things I did when I got home, because I was so tired, I took a shower and I was like, let me take a nap for just 2 hours, so that by the time I wake up, I'm feeling a little bit energetic from the day. I mean, it was a very long day, and I mean, this was just perfect timing. And I mean, I can't thank you enough for agreeing to change the time from what we had initially agreed. Being flexible is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing.
I change times all the time at the end of the day. At the end of the day, sometimes I fill my diaries up so much. It's quite nice for me when somebody, like today's a warm day in the UK and we don't have it very often. So actually when you move, that gave me a bit of time for me to go out on my bike and get a bit of sunshine on me. So I'm opportunist. I see the opportunity in every situation. So I don't see it as like, oh no, that's a change to my diary. I just see that as, oh great, I've got a window now that I never had before. I can do something else, and then I've got another fantastic call for later. Then I see the positive in everything.
That's amazing. I mean, some people definitely, if you change time, they'll be like, oh, okay, so this one, he doesn't want to be on the call or whatever. I mean, you start creating a scenario that was not there, because this for me has worked better than the 5 o'clock we had initially planned for. It was already said, but it just came like, okay, something is happening, so let's change the time, and it has worked perfect. So I mean, I can't thank you enough. This was just amazing. I've never been on a podcast before, so this is my first one. So thumbs up. I can't wait to share it with people in the group so that they can see what we talked about.
Brilliant. All right then, well, you have a good night's sleep, and thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and I'll catch up with you again sometime soon.
All right, we will. Thank you so much, and have a good evening as well, as the time goes for you. I know you're 2 hours behind, but you'll catch up.
Yeah. All right, then. All the best.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye for now. Okay.
Right. Nothing else left for me to say now other than have a great day. I know I will. And thank you very much for listening. Cheers. Bye-bye.